Apple is now widely regarded as one of the most successful and powerful brands in the world of technology. But believe it or not, Apple's success was not without setbacks and missteps along the way. Like any excellent business, there are always ups and downs. We'll examine some of Apple's biggest mistakes. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more intriguing videos like this, and be sure to watch this video to the end. Therefore, anytime we upload a new video, you will be notified so that you won't miss out on interesting videos from us. Let's dive in without further ado. MobileMe. MobileMe debuted in 2000 under a different name, iTools, and lasted until 2002. It was known as Mac until 2008, then MobileMe until 2011, before being superseded by what is now known as iCloud. MobileMe was created to provide internet services to Apple users. With iTools and Mac, you'd get it at mac.com email address that was attached to your Mac hardware. It was renamed MobileMe after the iPhone 3G, and services were expanded to Mac OS X, iOS, and Windows, with a matching at me.com email address. The 2008 MobileMe launch, on the other hand, became one of Apple's most bungled launches in history. It debuted alongside the iPhone 3G, iPhone 2.0 software, and the App Store. For $99 per year, customers can store contacts, documents, calendars, photographs, videos, and emails remotely and access them on Apple devices and Windows via a browser. However, it faced inconsistent service and email outages upon introduction, as well as huge pre-authorization charges for those signing up for a free trial. iPhone 4 and Antenna Gate. The iPhone 4 was one of the most significant changes to the iPhone to date. It entirely changed the design, removing the curves and replacing them with flat edges and stainless steel bands instead of plastic. It also increased the camera resolution from 3 megapixel to 5 megapixel, effectively launching an entirely new category of mobile photography as we know it. However, the iPhone 4 had a key design flaw, the stainless steel bands around the sides, which also served as the cellular antenna. Because the phone's exterior served as the antenna, the public eventually discovered that holding the phone in the left hand in a certain way caused the cellular signal to be reduced or completely lost. This was referred to as the death grip. iPad 3. The iPad 3 is a one-of-a-kind failure in recent history. The iPad 3, dubbed the new iPad by Apple, was the first iPad to include a Retina display, which was first seen on the iPhone 4. The iPad 3 also had an A5X chip with a quad-core graphics processor, a 5-megapixel camera, 1080p HD video recording, voice dictation, LTE, and other features. But why did the iPad 3 fail? After only 7 months, 221 days, Apple decided to discontinue it and launch the iPad 4. This is the shortest lifespan of any OS product, and it irritated many people who had purchased the iPad 3 as their first iPad or had recently upgraded from the iPad 2. And, as we discovered with the iPad 4, the A5X chip was insufficient to power the Retina display. Overall performance suffered because it was using an older chip, and it also got too hot during use. The iPad 3 is also the last iPad to use the 30-pin dock connector before the iPad 4, which switched to Lightning. Apple Maps in iOS 6. When Apple first released the iPhone, it used Google Maps in the Maps app. This was back when Apple and Google were still considered close allies. Ah, yes, those were the good old days. Another interesting fact is that Apple's decision to use Google Maps was made at the last minute, as Jobs only added it weeks before the iPhone's debut. Aside from the fact that Google was a key partner at the time, why did he include it? Jobs believed that Google Maps would be an excellent demonstration of the iPhone's multi-touch technology, and he was correct. During the Macworld keynote, Jobs used the Google Maps demonstration to make the famous prank call to Starbucks. However, in 2012, Apple released iOS 6, which is well known as the iOS version that removed Google Maps. Instead, Apple replaced Google Maps with its map data, simply known as Apple Maps, in one of the most disastrous launches in Apple history. The truth is that Google still had a year left on its contract with Apple to be the default Maps data provider. But Google refused to add turn-by-turn navigation for the iPhone, which Apple desired. So Apple's solution was to ditch Google and create its in-house Maps solution, which resulted in the iOS 6 Maps fiasco. The most serious issue with iOS Maps was its lack of accuracy. A map app must be accurate to function. Early Apple Maps users reported issues, such as directions that took them in the wrong direction in buildings, roads, and rivers that were either missing or in completely incorrect locations. Some entire cities and landmarks didn't seem to exist or had insufficient detail. With all of these flaws, the first version of Apple Maps was practically unusable, and it quickly became a running gag. To make matters worse, Google did not submit a standalone Google Maps app to the App Store at the time, so users didn't have an alternative map app if Apple Maps let them down too often. It was so bad that customer satisfaction fell from iOS 5 to iOS 6. Apple Pippin. In 1996, Apple released the Pippin, a small gaming console manufactured by Bandai. It was Apple's first foray into the console market, and it aimed to make the console more than just a gaming platform. The Pippin ran a simplified version of the Macintosh operating system, making it faster and more powerful than competing consoles at the time. The Apple Pippin, on the other hand, failed due to its high price, around $600. Other consoles at the time, such as the Nintendo 64, cost around $200. The Pippin also lacked a variety of games, which could be attributed to its astronomically high price tag at the time, further burying it. Even today, many people do not take Apple seriously when it comes to gaming. You will find gamers recommending the best Mac over a custom-built PC, for example. Apple, on the other hand, has had a significant impact on the gaming industry with the iPhone and iPad, and even more recently with Apple Arcade. Apple Macintosh Portable. Apple now produces some of the thinnest, most functional laptops available. However, this was not always the case. The Apple Macintosh Portable was Apple's first battery-powered computer, and by today's standards, it was anything but portable. This hulking abomination boasted an expensive black and white active matrix LCD screen mounted on a hinge, allowing the screen to cover the keyboard and trackball when not in use. While it was Apple's first portable computer, it was also designed to deliver high performance, which meant a high price, $6,500 in 1989, or about $12,600 today, and a hefty weight. This thing weighed approximately 16 pounds, and due to the battery design, it couldn't always turn on when plugged in. The Butterfly Keyboard. The Butterfly Keyboard, which debuted in the new MacBooks in 2015, is one of Apple's most recent failures. Apple had been using the scissor switch in MacBooks since 2012 before the Butterfly Keyboard. Apple switched from scissor switches to butterfly switches to create a thinner keyboard for thinner MacBooks, aka the Johnny Ive era. Butterfly switches were single-piece switches that looked like butterfly wings and compressed downwards into a V or U shape when pressed. However, Apple promoted the butterfly switch design as more stable due to the mechanism's ability to evenly distribute any applied pressure from a finger press. While this is true, the butterfly switch had less travel than the scissor switch, resulting in less squish and movement, but more space for debris to accumulate. All of the debris that accumulated in the butterfly switch clog up the mechanism, causing a slew of issues. Keys become stuck, repeat characters, or simply stop working. Because of these issues, the Butterfly Keyboard has become one of the most despised features of recent MacBooks. You'll be hard-pressed to find someone who owns a Butterfly Keyboard MacBook who hasn't experienced some sort of issue at some point. Because of the volume of complaints, there was a massive recall program for the keyboards. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like it and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on another wonderful video from us. Till next time.